Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the mysteries hidden within corporate filings to reveal the real story behind the numbers. Today, we're diving into a company that is making waves in the acquisition space. Get ready because we're going to decode the financial moves of Daedalus Special Acquisition Corp, a company that just went public and is now laying out its very first steps. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, if you love getting clear, straightforward insights from these dense corporate reports, make sure you are subscribed. And for even more exclusive content and to connect with fellow finance enthusiasts, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. So, what exactly is this report all about? It is essentially a snapshot of Daedalus's initial public move, its IPO, and some related transactions. Think of it as the company's birth certificate in the public markets, detailing how much money they raised and how they plan to use it. We're talking about a company that specializes in acquiring other businesses. So understanding their funding and their structure from day one is crucial for anyone interested in their future. This particular filing of Form 8K is all about reporting significant events that shareholders should know about. For this company, the big event is the successful completion of their initial public offering, or IPO. This is where a private company starts selling its shares to the public for the first time. Let's break down what they offered. Daedalus sold something called units. Each unit was like a package deal. It contained one share of their Class A ordinary stock, which is basically ownership in the company, and a fraction of a warrant. A warrant is like a coupon that gives the holder the right to buy more shares of the company later on, at a set price. In this case, it was 1/4 of a warrant, and you could use that warrant to buy a share for $11.5. They offered a lot of these units, 25 million to be exact, which is a huge number of ownership pieces they're putting out there. And where did all this trading happen? These units, along with the separate shares and warrants, are now being traded on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC, a major global exchange. This means regular investors can now buy and sell pieces of Daedalus. The report tells us that on the 10th of December 2025, Daedalus Special Acquisition Corp successfully completed its IPO. This event brought in a massive amount of money. They sold these units at $10 each, and with 25 million units, that is a cool $250 million in gross proceeds. That is a significant chunk of change right out of the gate for a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC as they're often called. But that is not all. Alongside the main IPO, they also did something called a private placement. This is where they sold a smaller batch of units, 685,000 units to be precise, directly to certain buyers at the same $10 per unit price. These buyers included the company sponsor, which is essentially the group that started the SPAC and BT LLC, the firm that helped manage the IPO. This private placement added another $6.85 million to their coffers. So in total, they've raised over $256 million from both the public offering and this private deal. Where did all this money go? A significant portion of the money raised from both the IPO and the private placement. A massive $250 million was immediately placed into a trust account. This is standard practice for SPACs. The money in this trust account is meant to be used to fund the acquisition of another company. This trust account also includes $8.75 million for deferred underwriting commissions, which are fees paid to the investment banks that help sell the shares. But these are typically paid out later. To show proof of these funds and how they were managed right after the IPO, they've included a key document, an audited balance sheet as of the 10th of December 2025. This is a financial statement that shows exactly what the company owned, what it owed, and the owner's stake at that specific moment in time. It is a critical piece of evidence confirming the funds were received and placed as stated. And who is steering this ship? This report is signed off by Orkin Killick, identified as the co-chief executive officer and a director. This tells us he is a key leader in the company, making important decisions. Now, let's talk about what this all means. Daedalus is a SPAC, which means its primary goal is to find and merge with a private company. Taking that private company public, they have a limited time, usually about 2 years, to find a suitable target. If they don't find one, the money in the trust account is typically returned to the investors. The fact that they've raised $250 million in their IPO is a strong signal that investors believe in their ability to find a good acquisition target. However, SPACs come with their own set of risks. The pressure to find a deal within a set time frame can sometimes lead to rushed decisions or overpaying for an acquisition. Investors need to watch closely to see what kind of company Daedalus decides to merge with. Is it a company with strong fundamentals and good growth prospects, or is it something that is being brought public just to meet the SPAC's deadline? The quality of the target company will ultimately determine the success of this IPO and the future value for shareholders. Looking at the structure, with the Class A ordinary shares and the redeemable warrants, it is a common setup for SPACs. The warrants offer potential upside for investors if the underlying share price increases significantly after the merger. But they also add complexity and potential dilution to the share count later on. In essence, Daedalus has successfully launched itself into the public market, arming itself with a substantial war chest of over $256 million. The ball is now in their court to find a compelling business to acquire. Investors are essentially betting on the management team's ability to identify and execute a successful merger that will create value. The coming months will be critical as we wait to see what target company they announce. Alright, that is our breakdown of Daedalus Special Acquisition Corp. Initial public offering filing. What is your take on SPACs like this? And what kind of companies do you think they should be targeting? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was helpful, hitting that like button is a big help. And make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the financial world. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.